Hello learners, welcome to my channel Shraddha's Physics. So today we will start the third unit of the solid state physics, that is the dielectric properties of the materials, and here we will see what are the polar molecules and the non-polar molecules. So let us begin with a matter. As we know, this matter is composed of the molecules which consist of one or more atoms. And in case of an atom, it has a positively charged nucleus and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in an orbit of radii of the order of 10 power minus 10 meter. That is, in case of an atom, as you know, the central part, this is the positively charged part and this is called the nucleus, and the electrons are orbiting around this nucleus in the various possible orbits. And this radius, it is of the order of 10 power minus 10 meter, and this type of electrons are called the bound electrons. Since the electrons are bound means it is bound to the nucleus. Since these electrons that are revolving around this path, that is around the nucleus, since these are bound in nature, so they will not participate in conduction process. Okay. The neighboring atom, it exerts interatomic forces due to the interaction of the charge distribution. Okay, when these atoms are sufficiently strong, loosely bound electrons get detached and these electrons are called the free electrons. That is, suppose we will consider there are two types of atom. This is suppose atom 1 and this is suppose atom 2. Okay, this one is 2 and this one is atom. And surrounding this nucleus, some electrons are orbiting around this nucleus, and also in case of this 2nd atom, the electrons that are lies at this various orbits, suppose these are my electrons, suppose like this, and suppose in case of the second one, the electrons are suppose distributed like this. Okay, in case of the neighboring atoms is present, so in this case, in the case of first atom, in this case, the first atom, it has one electron in the outermost shell, and in case of the second atom, there are 3 electrons in the outermost shell. Now, this electron will exert a force on this neighboring atom. When these interatomic forces are very strong, okay, when these interatomic forces are very strong, then these bounded electrons now detached from this atom. So, these detached electrons, they will now conduct the electricity, and these electrons is now called the free electrons. Okay, these electrons are now called the free electrons. Now we will see what is dielectric, that is the what is dielectric material. What is a dielectric? An insulator or a dielectric, it is a material in which the electrons are tightly bound to the nucleus of the atom. Tightly bound in the sense is the sense that the electrons are not free. That is, it will not participate in the conduction process. So we can say that there are no free electrons, or the number of such electrons is too low. That is very small amount of electrons at present, that is the free electrons are present in case of the dielectric. In case of in an ideal dielectric case, there is no free charge at all. But in the presence of the electric field, that is, if we will apply any external electric field to this dielectric, the dielectric behavior may change because of its molecular structure. So basically, what we know that in case of a dielectrics, it behaves like a insulator in the absence of the electric field, but when the electric field is applied, then somehow it will behave like a conductor. Okay, if the change in behavior of the dielectric is independent of the direction of the applied field, then the dielectric is called the isotropic. That is, suppose if you will consider this is suppose a dielectric material, and if we will apply some external electric field to it, then the properties or the behavior of the dielectric, if it is not depend on the direction of the field, that is, in which direction of the field we will apply, it doesn't depend on the direction of the applied field, or we can say that the behavior of the dielectric remains unchanged, then such type of dielectric is called the isotropic, or its nature is called the isotropic nature. But if it depends on the field direction, that is the dielectric behavior, the behavior of this dielectric material, it depends on the field direction, then the dielectric is called the anisotropic nature. Okay, that is, in a single word, in a single sentence, I can say that if it is independent on the direction of the field, then it is called the isotropic. If the behavior of the dielectric depends on the field, then it is called anisotropic. Okay, just make an underline in isotropic and anisotropic. Okay, now next see the examples of dielectrics. The examples are like glass, mica, wax, air, rubber, plastic, water, etc. Okay, these are the examples of dielectrics. When an electric field is applied to a dielectric material, it exerts a force on each charged particle. Okay, we know in general any atom is neutral in nature, that is its positive charge and the negative charge, they are equal in nature. The number of positive charge is equal to the number of negative charge, that is it is neutral in nature. But on the application of the electric field, what will happen? The negative charge particle, it moves in the opposite direction to the field applied, and the positive charge particle pushed in the direction of the field. We will discuss it in detail later. So just for your concern, I will tell you what is polarization. So I am just explaining this. So that is, on the application of the external electric field, the negative charge particle will move in the opposite direction of the field applied, and the positive charge particle, we can say that they will be pushed in the direction of the field, that is in the same direction that of the field. Okay, and this relative displacement of the charged particles from their equilibrium position is called the polarization. Okay, that is when this positive charge particle and the negative charge particle, they will get separate from their equilibrium position. Equilibrium position means they are originally in this state, suppose, and on the application of the field they will get separate, and because of this relative displacement from this equilibrium position, the new phenomena comes, and this is called the polarization. And the dielectric in this case is said to be polarized, and it will act as an electric doublet, or we can say that electric dipole. Okay, this is called the electric dipole. Okay, just here underline polarization, this is a polarization. Okay, underline here. Now see, according to the quantum theory, the neutral atoms in their ground state, it consists of a central positively charged nucleus surrounded by a spherically symmetric cloud of equal negative charge of smoothly varying charge density. That is, in if we will consider the quantum theory, that is, if we study the microscopic behavior of the particle, then in case of a neutral atom, that is the atom in where the atom lies in the ground state. So in this case we can say that, suppose this is my atom, its central positively charged, that is the nucleus. The nucleus basically consists of, nucleus means the nucleus consists of protons and the neutrons. Okay, the nucleus consists of protons as well as the neutrons. The protons carry positive charge and the neutrons has no charge. Hence we can say that the nucleus has the positive charge, and this nucleus lies on the center of the atom. This is my nucleus, and the electrons that we are considering, that they are orbiting around the nucleus, they are actually, we can say that these electrons are surrounded by the nucleus with a, we can say, the spherically symmetric cloud. These are the cloud of electrons, actually these are the cloud of electrons that are surrounded to the nucleus, and they have the spherical symmetric cloud of electrons, that is equal negative charge of smoothly varying charge density. Okay, these electrons are smoothly varying charge density, that is at every point you can find the electrons, that is they lie in the symmetrical to the nucleus. So the electrons that is surrounded by this nucleus, these are basically the cloud of electrons, and it has the symmetric variation of the charge density. Okay, so depending on the shape of the cloud and the variation of the charge density inside it, the molecules of the dielectric, it can be classified into two types. Okay, so first is non-polar molecule and the second one is the polar molecules. So just remember that this classification is based on the variation of the charge density inside the nucleus and the shape of the cloud. Cloud means the cloud of electrons. Okay, now see what is non-polar molecule. So in case of the non-polar molecule, here the center of gravity of the positive charge exactly coincide with that of the negative charges. Here you can see that in this diagram, let us see. In this diagram, you can see the positive charge and the negative charge. Negative charge here means the cloud of electrons, as I have told before. So these are your the cloud of electrons. The charge density of these electrons and the positive charge, they will lie at the same point, that is here at the center. So you can say that its center of gravity of the positive charge as well as the negative charge, when they will lie at a single point, then this type of molecule is called the non-polar molecule. Okay, and in this case you can see that the net dipole moment of the molecule is 0. Why? Because when the dipole moment comes, when there is a separation between the two oppositely charged, when there are suppose one positive charge and one negative charge is lies at this point, and the separation between them is suppose L. In this case, when there is a separation between these two charges, suppose this is plus Q and this is suppose minus Q. In this case, the dipole moment, we can say that P will be equal to Q into L. When there is a separation between the charges, then there will be a dipole moment. But when these two charges, when this positive charge and the negative charge, they will lie at a single point, that is the center of gravity lies at a single point, they will coincide. In that case, the net dipole moment, that is when this L equal to 0, that is the separation between this positive charge and the negative charge will goes to 0. In this case, L we can say the 0. So Q into 0 is 0. So here the net dipole moment of the molecule is 0. So these are called the non-polar molecules. That is, we can say that in case of non-polar molecules, the center of gravity of the positive charge particle and the negative charge particle, they will coincide, and the net dipole moment of the particle is 0. Okay. Now here you can say that they don't have, we can say that they don't have the permanent dipole moment. Since its dipole moment is 0, no permanent dipole moment means, on if we will apply electric field, I will discuss it. If we will apply the electric field, and when we will remove this field, when we will apply the field, then there will be net dipole moment. But when we will remove this dipole, when we will remove the electric field, then there will be no dipole moment in this molecule. Okay, so we can call it, in case of the non-polar molecules, they don't have permanent dipole moment. Okay, so its examples are H2, O2, N2, CCl4, Cl2, CH4 and CO2. Okay, CO2 means carbon dioxide. This CO2, basically this is called the non-polar molecules. This is quite different from the water molecule. This CO2 is quite different from H2O, that is water molecule, because this water molecule is your polar molecule. We will discuss it later. But this carbon dioxide, this CO2, it is called the non-polar molecule. Okay, because in case of carbon dioxide, this carbon makes a double bond with the oxygen, and also here there are two oxygen. But in case of this carbon, and between this carbon and oxygen, oxygen has the high electronegativity. So the electric field will be like in this way. Since these are in the opposite direction, so we can call it as the non-polar molecules. But in case of water molecule, they all are lie in the same direction. That's why they are called the polar molecules. We are not going to in the further details in it. So let us see the next point. So basically, what we know, in case of non-polar molecules, the center of gravity lies at a single point and it has no permanent dipole moment. And in case of non-polar molecule, the net dipole moment is 0. Okay. Now let us see the next point. When an external electric field is applied to a non-polar molecule, if I will apply some external field to this non-polar molecule, it will exert a force on each charged particle within the molecule. So if I will apply this external field to this non-polar molecule, then it will exert a force in this positive particle and also on this negative charged particle within this molecule. So the positive charged particle will be pushed in the direction of the field and the negative particles oppositely, so that the positive and the negative parts of each atom are displaced from their equilibrium position in the opposite direction. So I will show you the diagram. So let us see the diagram first here. In case of when the electric field is zero, this is my suppose a dielectric. It consists of a number of atoms. Okay, just you have to visualize everything. That is, this is a suppose a dielectric material. It consists of a number of atoms inside it. This is one atom, second atom, third atom, and so on. Okay, so I can say that this positive charge and negative charge particle lies at the center, and also here, and also here, and in every cases. Okay, so on the absence of this electric field, they will behave. Its behavior will be like this. But when we will apply some electric field to this non-polar molecule, what will happen? This positive charge particle here, they will come, they will try to move in the direction of the field, and obviously this negative charge will move in the opposite direction of the electric field. That is, if I will apply some electric field to it, okay, if I will apply some electric field to this non-polar molecule, what will happen? Inside this dielectric, this positive charge particle, they will move in the direction of the field, and the negative particle will move in the opposite direction of the field. And this will happen for the every molecule, every atoms lies inside this matter. So all the positive charge particle will lie in this direction. Okay, like this. There, since there are 6 number of atoms, so I am representing here the total 6 number of atoms. All the positive charge particle, you can see, they lie at this point, that is in the direction of the field, and this negative charge particle, they lie in the opposite direction to the field. Okay, now see, the displacements are necessarily small, as the elastic forces within the atom tend to keep it in its normal neutral configuration. That is, in case of a non-polar molecules, we are discussing here for the non-polar molecule. In case of the non-polar molecule, the displacement means the separation between this positive charge and the negative charge, because on the electric field, on the application of the electric field, this positive charge and negative charge, they will get separate. Okay, but this separation is very small in nature. Why? Because of this elastic forces within this atom, they will tend to keep this positive charge and the negative charge in its neutral configuration like this. Okay, this is its neutral configuration. So the molecules therefore behaves effectively as an electric dipole, which will produce an electric field of its own. So these positive charge and negative charge, somehow they will separate. So this will behave like a electric dipole. Okay, on the application of the electric field, somehow they will displace very small, but still they will form a electric dipole. So the entire dielectric, it can be replaced by a configuration of a vast number of such tiny electric dipoles. Okay, these are some, these are some tiny electric dipoles. Okay, very small. Okay, tiny means very small. Therefore, even in the absence of any free charges, here we have considered that in case of a dielectric material, the electrons are bounded in nature, the electrons are bound to the nucleus, so there are no free electrons. But when we will apply some electric field, then they will produce their electric field of its own. Here you can see that in case of the non-polar molecules, that is in this case, when we apply some external electric field, here this tiny electric dipoles, here, this tiny electric dipoles, they will exert their own electric field. That is, here you can see that, here I have given the direction. These are the electric field of these dipoles. Okay, but when we will remove this electric field, when we remove this electric field, they will again come back to its original configuration like this. Okay. So basically what I mean to say is that the non-polar molecules, they don't have any permanent dipole moment. Okay. We have already discussed about the dielectric material. In case of a dielectric, or you can say that for an ideal dielectric, this will behaves like a, for an ideal dielectric, it behaves like a insulator. It behaves like a insulator. Insulator means basically it has no free charge carrier. It has no free charge carrier. So it will not conduct basically. Or you can say that in case of for insulator, there are the bound electrons are present, that is the nucleus present in an atom. They will attract the electrons that are present surrounding to the nucleus. The electrons that are present inside in an atom, they are closely attached to the nucleus. So the electrons are not free, or they can be called as the bound electrons. But if we apply some electric field, to a dielectric, then somehow they will form the electric dipole, or we can say that they will conduct. Okay. Or basically we can say that they will exert their own, they will experience their own electric field. And basing on the type, the structure of the dielectric, we can divide this dielectric into two parts. Depending on the structure of the dielectric, it is of two types, that is one is polar molecules and another one is the non-polar molecules or the non-polar dielectrics. Okay. In the previous lecture, we have already discussed about the non-polar, and today we will see the polar molecules. If you can remember, in the last classes we have already discussed that in case of a non-polar molecule, the center of gravity of the positive charge and the negative charge, they will lie at a single point, and we have considered that the nucleus, suppose this is my nucleus, inside in an atom the electrons are just like a cloud. These are the cloud of electrons, they are present inside this atom like this, and the charge density of this particle, that is the negative charge particle and the positive charge particle, they will lie at this one point, or the center of gravity, they will coincide at a single point in case of a non-polar molecules. But in case of a polar molecules, they will not coincide. So let us start with the polar molecules. The molecules in which the center of gravity of the positive charges doesn't coincide with that of the negative charges are known as the polar molecules. That is, in this diagram you can see that this is suppose positive charge and these are the cloud of electrons, that is they will occupy in some places, that is the positive charge, it will displace from the negative charges and it will form like a dipole, that is an electric dipole. This is the case for a polar molecules. These molecules therefore constitute a permanent dipole moment. Since you can see here that there will be a small displacement between this positive charge and the negative charge, that is suppose L, then you can see this P, that is the dipole moment equal to Q into L must be present in case of a polar molecules. The examples of the polar molecules are water, HCl, NH3, etc. These polar molecules consist of the dissimilar atoms. It means that here you can see that in this example you can see dissimilar atoms means there are two types of atom. One is in case of water, one is hydrogen, another one is oxygen. In case of HCl, one is hydrogen, another one is fluorine. In case of NH3, one is nitrogen, another is hydrogen, etc. So in case of a polar molecules, it consists of the dissimilar atoms. That is, there are two different types of atoms are here. Each molecule, it has a built-in dipole moment of its own. It means that in case of, suppose if I will consider for the water molecule, the hydrogen atom itself has a dipole moment and oxygen atom itself has a dipole moment. But in the absence of any external field, these dipoles are oriented completely at random. It means that suppose I will consider this is my dielectric material. Up to this much we know that in case of a polar molecule, in case of the polar molecules, the positive charge and the negative charge get separated so that they have that net dipole moment. But if I consider a material, dielectric material, that is, it consists of several number of atoms inside it. So if I consider here this positive charge, negative charge, they will form a electric dipole. This is suppose positive charge, negative charge, they will form a electric dipole. This negative, positive, positive, negative, and so on. Okay. Now you can see here these individual dipoles, they can move in any possible direction. So we can say that when there is no electric field is applied into this electric field, then these individual dipoles, they can move randomly. That is, in all possible direction they can move. Okay. So these dipole moments are of the order of 10 power minus 29 coulomb per meter. That is the separation of 1 angstrom, that is 10 power minus 10 meter, between the centers of positive and the negative charges of magnitude 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So the electric dipole moments, it points in all possible direction, cancelling out the effect of each other. That is, if we will consider any any dielectric material, suppose inside this dielectric material, the dipoles that are present inside this material, they can move in the any possible direction in the absence of the electric field, but they can cancel each other effect, so that we can say that this dielectric material itself is neutral in nature. And macroscopically if I will view it, then this total dipole moment will be 0. Okay, each individual has their net dipole moment. Here you can see that in case of a dielectric material, if you will consider an individual atom, in individual atom they has their own dipole moment. Okay, individual atom have their own dipole moment, but if we will consider this total dielectric material, it means that as a whole this dielectric material, they has dipole moment is 0. It means that they has no dipole moment because they will cancel each other's effect. Now you can see that here. So the net dipole moment with any macroscopically small volume element is therefore 0. So this is the case when there is no electric field is applied to the dielectric. But when an electric field is applied, there is not only some additional induced dipole moment, but also there is a torque exerted on all the permanent dipole which tend to align themselves parallel to the field. It means that when you apply some electric field, this is in case of when you apply some electric field to this dielectric material, they will before, on the absence of the electric field, you can see that these dipoles they are moving in the random direction. But if when you apply this electric field to this dielectric material, they will tend to align themselves in the direction of the electric field. That is, in case of non-polar molecules, you know, when the electric field is applied, this positive charge will move in the direction of the electric field, so that the electron can move in the, or the negative charge can move in the opposite direction of that electric field that is applied. And in case of these polar molecules, these same things happen, that is, the negative charge will move in the opposite direction to the field applied, and the positive charge will move in the same direction to that of the applied field. But here one more thing is happened, that is, a torque is developed here. If E naught is the applied electric field and P is the molecular dipole moment, then the torque experienced by each molecule will be tau equal to P cross E naught. Okay, so when you apply some electric field to a dielectric material, then what will happen? This individual electric dipole, they will try to, or they will tend to align themselves in the direction of the field, and they exert a torque in this dielectric material. The torque equal to P cross E naught. This torque tend to align the molecules in the direction of the applied electric field. Okay, but this thermal motion, the thermal motion tends to oppose this alignment, so that at each temperature some parallel alignment is produced in the equilibrium condition. And due to this alignment, there is some net dipole moment associated with each macroscopically small volume element of the dielectric. So here in this case, you can see that when we apply some electric field to these polar molecules, these things happen that we have already discussed. That is, the electric dipoles, they will tend to align themselves in the direction of the field, and a torque developed, that is tau equal to this P, that is the dipole moment, cross E naught, that is the electric field that we have applied. This is your electric field E naught. Okay. So because of this torque, they will tend to align themselves in the direction of the field, and because of this external field, these electric dipoles in this dielectric material, they have some net dipole moment. This dielectric, they will have some net dipole moment. So this is the basic structure of the polar molecule. That is inside this dielectric material, what is the difference between these polar molecules and the non-polar molecules, or we can say that the difference between the polar dielectric or the non-polar dielectric. So the conclusion that we get is that all the dielectric substances, when kept in an external electric field, are equivalent to a large number of tiny electric dipoles situated in vacuum. Okay. These dipoles, it produces a secondary field of their own which modifies the external field. It means that in here also you can see that these tiny electric dipoles, they can also have their own electric field. They also can exert their own electric field. So this electric field direction, you can see that this is just opposite to the direction of the electric field that we have applied. Okay, the electric field that we have applied is in this direction, that is towards the right direction. But the electric field that is induced or that is developed inside this electric dipole, this is in the just the opposite direction to that of the electric field. So it means that it will just try to oppose that applied electric field. That's why it is termed as the induced electric field. A dielectric capable of producing such a secondary electric field of its own is said to be polarized, and this phenomena is referred to the polarization. So here the secondary electric field means the electric field experienced by the electric dipoles individually. That is, this induced electric field developed in case of your electric dipole, or we can say that this dielectric material is completely polarized when its secondary field is developed or there is a induced electric field can be found, and this total phenomena is called the polarization. Polarization basically means the separation of the charges or the induced electric field when developed because of the applied electric field, then that phenomena is called the polarization. And this dielectric material, in that case, it can be said that the dielectric material is polarized. So this is all for today. If you have any doubt, can ask me in the comment section. Thank you all.